This time next year, where do you want to be? Where do you want to be? I lost 100 pounds, 100 pounds, when I decided that I was going to lose 100 pounds. Now, maybe you're looking to lose weight. Maybe you have more than 100. Maybe you don't have 100. But I'm going to give you 3 steps. 3 steps that I took to get me where I am today. Now, I just turned 70. And I've decided that I want to share parts of my life over the past 70 years. Because I've really jumped some major hurdles throughout my life, really big ones. Everything from losing 100 pounds, being divorced 3 times, figuring out why. But today I just want to talk about how I lost 100 pounds. 3 steps, 3 major steps. Maybe I should call them decisions. 3 major decisions. First of all, I thought to myself, this time next year, I'm not going to be this person. Now I was in my 50s. Now I'd suffered depression. 5 years. And that's just a loss of hope and hating on myself. Oh, I hated myself. I had to work through a lot of that. But then I found myself 100 pounds overweight. Now, I was a professional dancer for many years, personal trainer, exercise physiologist, certified. Thank goodness I knew how to do it. But I also knew I couldn't do what I used to do. I can't just go running. Not at 50 and not 100 pounds overweight. But the first thing I knew I had to do was to change my situation. And so I did that. I called my friend. I was living in Florida, and I called my friend Nora Bell. She's an angel from God. She was living in North Carolina. And I called her and I said, Nora, how would you like to have a roommate? And she said, PP. That's what she calls me. She said, PP, if it's you, come on. And so, 50 years old, I had beautiful furniture. I had collected stuff for 50 years. I sold it all, every bit of it. I showed up at her house with a little U-Haul hooked onto the back of my PT Cruiser. Now, when I first got there, I really just kind of fell to pieces for a while. Cried a lot. I think everything was just falling off my shoulders, you know. And then I decided to take that first step, the most important step, step number 1. I took the first step. I went to the gym. I signed up. And every day, like clockwork, I showed up. I told myself, you're going 6 days a week. You're showing up every single day. And you're going to put in at least 10 minutes. Now, if after 10 minutes you still want to leave, leave. I never left. Never. Now, there was this one day I showed up at the gym, and I remember reaching for the door, and I stopped in my tracks and I went, no, I'm not going in. I am so totally exhausted. And I went home. I slept for 12 hours that night. 12 hours. I needed the rest. I really needed the rest. But I was diligent every single day, like clockwork. And I'd be on that treadmill. And you know, the second thing you want to do is be consistent. And I was consistent. I was on that treadmill. My time was increasing. I started doing inclines. I was also on the weights. You know, I hadn't lifted weights and I don't know when. Heck, I used to bodybuild. I competed one time. That was the girl that won was so big, I went, I want to look like that. So I never did that again, you know. I lifted just for the shape of it, and I just loved the way, you know, my arms looked and everything. But anyway, back to it. So I was consistent. Oh, I was consistent. I was there every day like clockwork. I took Sundays off, rested. I was doing so well. But when you first start out, you know, it's crazy, because you can get on that treadmill, you can go 30 minutes. You wake up the next day and nothing's changed. Nothing. I mean, 30 minutes on the treadmill and the next day nothing's changed. What your mind does, you know, it's like, you got so far to go, you got so far to go. Don't look ahead. Oh, Lord, don't look ahead. You know what I mean? Don't think about that. All you think about is that day, that one step, you know, whether it's walking around the block. Heck, I mean, I got started, I you know, walking around the block. I remember this one time I lived at top of a hill, because I'd lost about 20 pounds before I even got there. But I lived at the top of this hill, and it was a circle, and I'd go down that hill, and then the bottom part was kind of flat, but then I'd have to go up that hill. Well, the first time I went around, I thought I wouldn't make it around that hill. But I was consistent again. Consistent. I was doing it every single day. And I was about 3 months into it, and the neighbor across the street, he came out and he said, Pam, that's what everybody calls me usually. But anyway, Pam, how many times have you gone around that circle? I said, 17. Yep. And I'd lost about 20 pounds. And I kept that off for a little bit. But when I got to Nora's, I hit the gym. And that's when I really got serious. I mean, I really got serious. And I was there every single day, like clockwork. Like clockwork. Now, also when you first start out, the reason why you have to put that one step in and you have to be consistent is because weight loss doesn't come quickly. You start gaining muscle. You're losing fat, but you're gaining muscle. So the first few weeks, you probably won't lose anything because you're working out. You're putting on muscle. And the best thing I found during that time when the scale wasn't really doing anything, I went and I bought myself a pair of pants one size smaller. And every week, I'd try to put them on. And then they fit. And I just did that. When they fit, and I could zip them up, and I could button them up, I went and I got another pair of pants, and I threw them over the chair, one size smaller. And that's the way I did it for a while. until I knew the weight was coming off and I could start weighing. But anyway, so I was consistent and I was in there. Starting out, I'd be on that treadmill and my mind start telling me, oh, you know, this is going to take forever, blah, blah, blah. Just constantly, just that mind rolling and rolling and rolling. And just all the negativity, you know, going through that mind. And I kept telling myself, this time next year, yeah, I knew if I went to that gym like I was supposed to, I put the time in, that this time next year would be different. And it was. It was. All that weight was gone. Gone. Think about next time this year. This year, next time, sorry. This year, next year, this time. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think about. What a simple thought process. How simple is that? But I'm going to tell you, if you don't take that first step, this time next year is going to look just like this year. Nothing's going to change. Nothing changes unless you do. And that's what I figured out. Don't look so far, you know, ahead. Just know that if you keep doing what you're doing, this time next year will be different. Take that one step. Do that one circle. Reach out and pull that gym door open. If you're where I was, you can do this. You can do this. I believe it. I truly believe it. Thank you for listening. I love you. Till next time.